Welcome back to the IB Investor channel. In this video, I'm going to go through 4 stocks that I'm buying right now. Now, the first stock is Investor AB. It's probably no surprise to anybody. It's the largest company in my portfolio, but also one of the most commonly owned shares in Sweden, actually. So this is the first one. Investor AB is a large company. It trades at large cap with a market cap of 638 billion Swedish kroners. It trades under the ticker symbol INVE, and this is the B shares. The industry is a holding company, and my holding right now is about 710 B shares. Now the share price has done pretty well for itself. It's not the best performing, but it's not the worst performing, but rather a very stable company here. So we can see the share price from inception has increased by more than 7,300% here without dividends. But even in the short period here for the short term, a 1% total return here of 17%, 3-year 53%, 5-year 129%, or 10-year here 361%. So this includes the dividend here. So the dividends reinvested here back into buying more shares, basically. Now for the dividend yield of this company, and we can see that they're currently trading at a 2% or 2.1% dividend yield here. But we can see historically here that the company has been a higher yielding stock in the past, and we can also see here how the dividend has been trailing here for a few years, and we can see that it currently pays out a 4.4 kroners a share, and that's up 10% from previous year here. So this is a pretty nice dividend grower. They're growing steadily and has been paying out dividends each and every year. However, here you can see in 2019 they did pause the dividend here a little bit and decrease it from these levels, and this was because of the COVID-19 most likely here. But this company is a good dividend payer and has had a good historical growth here for a few years. This company also being the biggest one in the portfolio, it also provides the most dividend income here for the portfolio with an estimated amount of 7,524 for the current dividend yield or current dividend per share, so to speak. However, in the next year, I would expect that this number, at least on the right side here, would increase by maybe 0.4 kroners or maybe 0.5 kroners or something like this. So my dividend yield will most likely go up here for the next year, and most likely I'm also going to add into this position going forward, so when this stock is going down a little bit more. So but yeah, it's the biggest holding and currently pays me this much, and this was the first stock here that I added to my position during the past 2 weeks here, and also including today where they actually paid out the semi-annual dividend here for the current date today. So I added 7 shares actually today as well. So now for the second stock that I added to the portfolio here, so this is another stock that I held previously, and it's Evolution AB. I held this stock for quite a few years. I've been selling and buying, as you can see here a little bit on the right side, but it's currently one of the medium-sized positions that I have currently in the portfolio. And given the recent reduction here in share price, it's actually climbed down a little bit, but Evolution used to be one of my biggest holdings here in the past when the shares were trading at all-time high levels. Now this company is also one of the bigger ones here in Sweden, so Evolution holds a market cap here at 219 billion Swedish kroners, and it trades at large cap here in Sweden under the ticker symbol here EVO or EVO. The industry here is within gambling and casinos, so very much similar to this picture here where you can see the live casinos going on here. And my current holding right now are 39 shares, but back in the days I used to own much more shares here. So I had, I think, maybe 150 or something like this, but I sold off some when I thought that the shares were a little bit overvalued, but now I've been adding a little bit again, but slowly. I still think the prices are pretty good, but it's always within this company that I see some risks. It's one of these sin stocks that I have in my portfolio, so I haven't been a little bit afraid to add on too much of this position, but it's a lovely company. All the numbers looks really good, but the share price has been under pressure as of late. There are some, incentive programs, which, there are some speculations that the stock has been held down because of that, but mostly I would say it's because of this, high risk right now with the stock within the gambling industry, but numbers wise, this is a great company. Now for the share price development, and this is one of the success stories here in Sweden. So we can see, for the maximum period here, the stock has returned more than 5,600% here, excluding the dividends here. If we were to include some dividends here in the short term, we can see the total return for 1 year has been 2.3%. So not very good, quite a disappointment, I would say, here in the short term. But looking at 3 year, we see 53%, and 5 year, it's a massive 760% almost here. And this includes the dividend for all of these. And then for the 7 year period here, we can see a 2,100% return here for the stock with dividends reinvested here. So just huge returns here for the stock. But we can see though that it's been some time here though since the stock did trade at its all-time high here, 709 kroners, but right now it trades around 1,000 kroners, so quite a far away here from the all-time highs. But there has been a lot of worry in the stocks. There has been some insiders selling the stock around this time as well, so the stock has been under pressure here for some time. But quite a lot of shareholders, as you can see here at my broker. We can also see that there are some short sellers here at almost 1.8% here of the total float being shorted right now. So, but the company does trade at pretty reasonable multiples, certainly. So a much better value proposition today, but you have to consider the risks here that this is being a, within the gambling industry here. So that's why I'm also not taking a full position in this company, but rather just adding a little bit slowly here. And just as a fast recap here for Evolution, we can just see, the management's allocation of performance here. And we can see that the return on invested capital is very good here, 30.2% here in the most recent quarter, but it has been dipping here a little bit and has come from very high numbers back in the days. But, a 30.2% return on invested capital is nothing to be shy about. It's a very good number. Looking at the return on equity here, it paints pretty much the same picture here. So in the recent time, it's been lower compared to that of the history here, as we can see, but a 27% return on equity is a very good number. Now, this was it for the second stock that I've purchased here recently, and I have been adding just slowly, so 1 or 2 shares or something like this, every second week. So not any major position right now, and I haven't added so many shares either. So I'm just building up a position here again a little bit slowly here. It's just because of the risks. I want to see where this company is going, where the risks are going, within the company here. So yeah. Now for the third stock here, Lifco, that I added to, and I did sell out completely here at I think it was end of 2021 or early 2022 or something like this. We can actually see it here. So here actually I left the stock completely. I just thought that the stock became a little bit overvalued. Unfortunately, we can't see the whole picture here, but maybe we can see it in the share price development later on. But then I added to the stock a little bit slowly again, and now I pretty much have a full position right now. So, and still adding because I like the stock. So Lifco is, one of the bigger companies here in Sweden. So it holds a 98.1 billion Swedish kroners market cap here, and it trades at large cap in Sweden under the ticker symbol here, Lifco, so basically the same name as the company. And the industry here, it's a holding company or serial acquirer, if you will. So they acquire a lot of small businesses, maybe 10 to 14 acquisitions a year or something like this, but they wish to, keep them a little bit smaller, so they're not going for the big fishes out there, but rather, many and smaller acquisitions here. And my current holding right now is 451 shares, which is almost the same amount that I had almost at the top here when I sold at Lifco for the past time here. But now I have pretty much rebuilt the position that I previously held here. So Now for the share price development here, so the stock has done very well, and we have to bear in mind that this company has not been listed very long. It came to the stock market here in 2014, and it's done very well for itself for this period. And we can see on the right side here the returns for the different periods here. So the first year or 1 year, 33%. For 3 years, if you hold the stock, 63%. And this is, including dividends reinvested here back into the stock. And then for 5 year, 188%, and 7 year here, a impressive 400%, but it's not even close to evolution, but still an impressive return for a company such as this. Now the stock has been shorted or is shorted by almost 1% here, so barely nothing, I would say, of the total outstanding float here. Not very commonly owned, so about 16,000 here shareholders at my broker. So yeah. Now for management's allocations performance here, and we can see that the company has had a history here of quite okay return on invested capital here, so about 14 to 15% over time, and it held that number for a period of years here, and it doesn't look like it's very volatile, but rather it stays at those levels, which is good. And we can also see here the return on equity here that paints pretty much the same story here for this company. Now, as I said before, I have a full position now, in my opinion, in this company, but I'm still adding slowly into the stock, adding maybe 2,000 kroners, every so often, so building it slowly again, because I don't feel right now that I need to add a huge amount more, but rather I just build up slowly now, considering the position that I have with about 451 shares, and I'm pretty satisfied with that right now. And obviously the stock here in the short term has taken off a little bit after the most recent report here. So that, of course, is a little bit disappointing from my side, because that means that I have to purchase this stock a little bit more expensive compared to that of just a few weeks ago. But, in the long run, as they say, cry once. So I just purchase now this stock at perhaps a little bit higher levels than I would like to, but it's still a quality company with very high returns, as you saw in the previous picture here. Now for the fourth stock here that I added in the past 2 weeks, which is called LogiCorp Group. So this is a company that has been a full position back in the days here, but I sold it off in 2022 because I thought that the company had become a little bit too overvalued. But I recently built up a semi-full position here, and I'm trying to add on to this stock a little bit, or this company, if you will. So not necessarily a full position right now, but I'm building it up slowly here. So this company has a little bit smaller market cap here, so 22.4 billion Swedish kroners here, as you can see. The market cap, or the market, is large cap, and it trades in Sweden under the ticker symbol here, LAGR. The industry is basically a holding company or a serial acquirer, if you will. And my holdings right now is about 697 shares. But my target previously was like something like 1,000 or something like this. But it depends where the stock price is going. That sometimes the stock price has gone away a little bit, on top of what I'm willing to pay. But I've been trying to add, just like I said with the previous one, maybe 1,000 kroners or 2,000 kroners when opportunity is given here or provided, but slowly trying to build up some more shares here. But I don't want to overpay, or I don't want to jump in too deep here right now, so just adding a little bit slowly here. Now for the stock development here, and we can see that the stock has done very well for itself here for a long period. So more than 3,000% here since 2001. And here on the right side, we can see the total returns here. So this again includes dividend here reinvested back into the stock. So 9% for the one year period, 62% here for 3 years, 270% here for 5 years, and 321% here for the 7 period here. So this company has done pretty well for itself, and we can also see that the short positions here for the float, for the total float here, is only 0.23%, so no short selling here, I would say, barely at least, so nothing to be worried or alarmed about. This stock doesn't have a lot of shareholders right now at my broker, so it's one of the, probably a little bit of a, I wouldn't necessarily say a hidden gem, because, the valuation of this company isn't that good in terms of a value proposition, but, still the stock has performed very well, as you can see in the long term here. In the short term, there has been some decline and some pressure though. Now for management's allocation performance here, and we starting here with the return on invested capital for this company. So in the most recent quarter here, almost 15%, and we have to bear in mind here that this company has a fiscal year which is basically a bit off. So for us it would be Q3, but this year, or this company has a broken fiscal year. So right now they're reporting Q2 here for 2024. So this company is not, in the future, but rather it's just, a broken fiscal year here. So, but we can see that the return on invested capital sits around 13 or 14% here for the most recent years. It's been higher in the past. Looking at the return on equity, it's been around, 23%-ish over time, but in the most recent quarter here, it did pick up, and it's been pretty good here for the most recent years as well. Now, this was the final chapter here for the fourth position, which was LogiCorp that I added to in the past 2 weeks here. All right, this was it for this video. It was a little bit of a different video compared to the other stock videos that I've done, so a little bit more of a personal touch here on the recent purchases that I've done here for my own portfolio here. So yeah, I hope you liked it, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content here. Anyways, thanks for watching and have a pleasant day. Thank you.